Hello guys, this is Joseph from Jouleconcepts. How are you doing today? Welcome to 28th day of the 30 days AutoCAD 3D exercise challenge. So in today's video, we are going to look at creating this chair. There's something different some different approach which we are going to be taking. So this is going to be a very interesting one. So again, I'm sorry for yesterday's upload. I had already started uploading, but internet took time, and that's why it didn't drop at the normal time. But then it was internet issue. I was uploading for over 2 hours, so that's why. So let's just get into today's tutorial. So we have this chair that I'm going to create. So this is the particular chair I want to create, but then there's some other chair that I want to copy that I like the way this one is transitioning into the other side. This doesn't show anything. So I'm thinking of using this. I may end up still using this even though I don't have any information as to how this will merge. But then we'll see what we're going to do. So, but this is the chair I'm trying to create. And you can also get the measurement. So I just went to look for measurements here and there, and we're going to be picking a few standard measurements from here, and then from there we can work our way out. All right, from there. Another thing I can actually do is I can actually copy this image and bring it over here and scale this image up so that I can have a sense of scale, and that way I will not have to overly guess. I can just get the overall shape from here. I think that is what I should do. So let's see if I can save this image. Let me just right click and copy this image, go to paint and paste it here, and I'm then going to save this out, chair, and just put this here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move to my front view like so, and switch this to the wireframe, and then go and bring that image. So this is my photos here, and then I'll just drag this image here. So I can place it here. I don't need to scale. I'll just press enter. So I have this image right there. I can fade it, and we already have a reference length which we can use to scale this image up. So that's what we're just going to do. So let's quickly do that. So I'm going to draw a line, make sure my auto mode is on, draw the line from here all the way to this place. And we are told that this is 475. So let's now draw a line from that same point and put the actual length 475. So you can see what the actual 475 length is. So what we need to do is to scale this image to the actual 475 length. So once I select this, I'll just press SC for scale, pick here as our base point for scale. Then we'll use reference option, R for reference, press enter. We pick here all the way to this image reference length, and then move our mouse to click at the actual reference length. And now it would scale this image up to the exact size that it should be. So now that we have this, we know that we can start working with this length. So I will just move this up, pick from here, go to 0,0 so that it will just move it to the ground. I actually want to move this base to the ground, so sorry. Select this, M for move, pick from here. I'm thinking this is the front view, right? Yeah, so I'll pick this guy from here and then put it at 0,0. So it's going to move this to this point. So I want to go to the right view. So if I go to the right view like this is what I have. And then I'm going to also drag that same image here and press enter a couple of times. And then we're also going to do the same thing, scale it up. All right, yeah, we're going to scale it up. So again, select this, fade this image so that we can see what we're working on. And L for line. Click from here to here. And then another line. Click from here, go all the way 475. And then we can select this, scale again. Click here. R for reference. Click on this to this point and then move to the actual length. So this is this. So again, I'm going to move this up. I'll just say M for move. So because this is our front, our left, so I'll just pick somewhere here and then put it at 0, 0. I'm going to move it to this place. So why am I doing this? If I go to the front view, I have this image that I can work with, and if I go to the left view, I have this image, sorry, not left, right. I have this image that I can work. Actually, this is supposed to be in the left view, so, but no issues, we can just work with this. It's just that it will be flipped. All right, so either way, what I can do, you can see what we have. I can select this one in the left view, and then I can rotate it. So I can use my rotate gizmo. And again, I need to switch from 2D wireframe to any of these. And then we'll be able to rotate this, go that way, and rotate again. So we have that. So now we can go to the left. So this left, we will move this back. So just come here. We want this to be in the origin. So M for move, pick from here to 0, 0. And now this is fine now. So we can continue working from here. So so now that we have this done, we really do not need this anymore. We just need to look at this shape and we can start building off from there. So let's go to the top view. So this is our top view and this is the shape that we have. All right, so I'm going to create the shape and then position it where it is. Actually, I will do that in the front view. So let's go to the front view. Front. So this is the shape we're trying to create for our front view. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So I'm going to use a rectangle. Don't worry, use a rectangle for that. Just click here, go all the way here. Don't worry about this, we will sort that out. We just want to block everything out, and once we're done, we will do every other thing that is needed. So we have this done. If you go to your front or to your left, this is what you have created. So what we need to do is to move this to the back. M for move, pick here, go all the way here. And then I can extrude this outside. Okay, so just select extrude, click on this, press enter. I can extrude it all the way to this point. Don't worry again about that. You will see how we are going to do every other thing that is needed. So again, the reason why all this is still not perfect is because, you know, I'm just scaling them manually. But then if you look at the front view, you should see that this is on that line. So it's very important. That's what matters. And then the next thing is we want to do this back rest. All right, so this is the idea for the back rest. Notice it's not joined, so we are going to use this one to do that. So let's just go to the left view, which is this, and we'll just do the back rest somewhere here. So let's start by creating a line. We could actually use polyline. So let's turn off our auto mode. And you notice that we have two, so we'll do one of them first and then we'll finish up with the second one. So let's do the one in front. So this comes all the way here, something like this. And then we want to have a curve, but we'll do the curve later on. Let's just end it here. And then we're going in this way, maybe 50. And then we have to draw another line here. Maybe this might not be up to that 50 because the top looks smaller. So let's just try 35. So at this base, draw a line. At this back, I will come here maybe 40, so that there is this transitioning from thin to fat. So I'll draw a line and just join from here to here and then to there. So I can get rid of this because I only needed that for this. So I'll just add a bit of fillet here and that will do that. So F for fillet, let's set our radius again. Let me just Ctrl 9 to bring up my command line bar. F for fillet, click on radius, let's set our radius to maybe 10 and we'll see what it gives us first. So obviously 10 is too small, so let's try 100. Let's go 200. Alright, that's fine. Fillets. Let's check this. Yeah, this is good. So we have that. So this top, we'll also want to round it off so that it doesn't look this too perfect. Or we can actually leave this. There's a way we can still round it off later on. So this is what we have. And if I go to I need to join it also, very important. It needs to be joined as one object. So just select this, 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 and then J for join. So this is treated as one object. So now let's go to the front view. And this is the shape we just created. Okay, so I'm going to move it again. M for move. And okay, hold on, let me remove this. Okay, so this is the line, so sorry. So click here, go to the polyline, M for move. I'll move this from this side all the way here. And now I'll select this, run my extrude. I want to extrude it all the way here. And if you check, this is what we have. See the shape? Yeah. It doesn't look like too detailed, but don't worry, we'll get everything sorted really soon. So the next thing left is the other back side. So let's quickly do that. So we'll do this again by going back to the left, and we'll just create a close-up for it. So let's create a line, or we could, yeah, we can create a line, so it doesn't matter. So this goes all the way here. Turn off my auto mode, and the bend here, I don't want it to be that too much, just small bend somewhere here, and then just join here and maybe somewhere here, and then close up. And we'll also add a bit of fillet here. So let's see if that same value works. Let's try 150. Yeah. Okay, 150 works. Again, select this, 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 and this. Then the last one. J for join. Again, go to the front view. Select Okay, so I think we may have missed something. Okay, so yeah, you can see what's happened here. So there is a shift, okay? Can you notice the shift? But no, that's not a problem not to worry yourself about. You can just move this one and move it down. Oh, so, and again, he also converted it into spline, so it's going to be a problem later on. So I think what we just do is just create this again. I think we used polyline earlier, so we'll just use polyline as well. So we'll just come here to left and use a polyline. Click here, put on my auto mode all the way here and put it off. Come here, join, and then go and join up here. I can select this and move this one here so that it doesn't feel too curved. Alright, so we have that, and then let's quickly, so this is closed shape, so let's fillet that. Okay, so this is regarded as a polyline, okay, so very important. So if I move this, it will affect that. So just see, we have this shape right there. So if I come back to that front, I will select the polyline. Let's move this from here also to that place. And then while we have it selected, okay, sorry, we need to move it as well. And then while we have it selected, we can extrude to this side. And then we have that. So just check this. You should have two bases, all right? So now we have those two bases. The other thing left will be for me to do this leg. So we'll see how we can do this. I'll just do it from side first, do this place, and then we'll mirror it and just join the two sides. So that's just what we'll do. So let's go to the left view again. So we're going to do something like this. You see this comes here. So I'm thinking of using this profile, so it comes here, goes forward, and then come here. I think that's what I'll do. So let me just quickly do it. So I will draw a line, and then I will start the line from here. I don't want to snap to anything. Put on my auto mode, go all the way here, and then put it off, come forward, straight forward like so to the ground, put it back on. Come here all the way to this point and just press escape, and then I can fillet that. F for fillet, R, let's try 200. Okay, for this one, okay, so 200 might be too much, so let's try 100. That's fine. This and this, that's perfect. So we have that done. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking this should go up, and the reason being that, okay, we'll do that later. We can shift this up. So now once we have this done, we need to also go to the front view. Again, they need to be joined, very important. Select this, 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 J for join, so that they become one object. Again, go to the front view, select your objects. So again, let's come to the left, select it, go to the front. So I think at this point I'm going to just go to my view, visualize, switch this to 2. So this one, I'm going to make this my front, and then I'll make this my left, so that while I select here, it will also be highlighted here as well. Okay, so I'm going to move this to the side. Make sure it's on the side like that. And now, once I have it selected, I can mirror to the other side. So MI for mirror, we can pick this as a base point, go all the way, click, and press enter. So now we have those two. If you check this, let's switch this, you can see that. So the only thing left is for us to join. So I can just use my line, click from here, it will force that right there. Okay, and we also are going to do for the top, but for this top, I'm thinking I should just, okay, I should stop at this point. We'll join that later on. So let's just select this and this, and J to join. So it's one object. So what I can do is just maybe fillet as well. So you see the problem here, I'm going to undo that operation before I joined. Yeah, so because I'm joining a line with a polyline, it's trying to make it spline. So I'm going to remove it. Instead, I'm going to use polyline PL and join this to this using the polyline command. So now that I've joined this, if I select both, J, this will be treated like a polyline now, not a spline. So let's just select this and this, J. Alright, so this is seen as spline. That's strange. Okay, so we can move this out and move it back to that point. Alright, so we have that. But it's still being treated as a spline. We saw that. Let's fillet that. Do we need to fillet? Let's do 50. Maybe 20. Just select this and so see that it's not filleting because this is a spline. Alright, so what we will have to do is we have to convert this to becoming a polyline again, and what we're going to use to convert that is the spline edit. So SPLINA. So just type the full spline edit and select the spline object, and now we'll just go to convert to polyline. Just give this maybe like 30, and then it will convert this to polyline now. So this is now a polyline object, okay? So it's very important. So now that we have this converted, let's look at the shape that we want to get. We can quickly get a 3D solid out of this. So you can see what we have here is more of a round shape. So we can quickly create that shape over here. So I'll select this, isolate it, so that I can see what it is I'm creating. So I will use a rectangle for that. So while I'm here, create a rectangle, make sure auto mode is on, click, go all the way. So again, I need to make sure that I'm in my world view and create a rectangle. So I will just make the rectangle like this. That's how wide it's going to be. And for this rectangle, because I want it to be a round edge, I can just do a 2-point circle from here. I need to make sure I click it to here, run that again from here. Sorry, 2-point circle from here. So see, I don't want that, so I'll select this, mirror it, MI for mirror, pick the midpoint. So for some case, sometimes you might not really want to do that, but then what we can do is we can turn off the, okay, so if you select these two guys, isolate it again, and then go to the top, you can select this, MI for mirror, you can pick this middle to this. So it's trying to snap to other objects, so that's why. So I'll trim off this and trim off this. Just select this and join it, just like a slot. Alright, so on isolate, so we have this. All I just need to do is rotate this guy and then put it into position. That's just all I need to do for me to have that. So I have to be in this view, not 2D wireframe, because 2D wireframe will not allow me to use the 3D rotate. So I'll pick this, rotate down, and then I can move. M to move, pick this midpoint and then snap it here. That's all I need to do. And now once I'm done with that, let's convert this into a mesh. So we'll go here, go to sweep, select the object, which is this polyline, press enter, and select this polyline as well, or spline. So I have 3D poly. Let's choose the 3D poly. Nothing happens, so let's see. Maybe it's the spline that I need. Okay, so let's try that again. Sweep, select the polyline, press enter, select the spline, yeah, and the spline works like magic. So you see that this gives us this shape, and even though I forgot, I didn't put into consideration this thickness, so what I will do is I'm going to undo that, and I will select this guy, and then I'll move it, M for move, pick from this end to this place, so that that will be outside. Okay, so let's see that. We can even move this backwards, but then let's just use this. So we'll go back to sweep, select this shape, enter, and then select the spline. And then it will do this, so this is still better. We can work with this, we can make do with this one. So I'm thinking I should still spread this back apart, okay? So let's select this spline, and then this mesh, isolate them so that we can move them to the side. So let's come to this view, change this here. I'm sorry about this noise you're hearing. Some people are working outside, so let's just stretch this. So let's use our stretch command and select this part. And I want to remove this from our selection. I'll just press enter, pick here, go all the way out, and I'll run the stretch command again, str, and str, do a stretch on this segment, hold down shift and remove this mesh, press enter, move this to this point. And that will do that. So now we can run that on isolate. And now we should be able to run this now. So what we can do is just move this to that point. M to move, pick here. Okay, that's perfect. So let's run our sweep command. Sweep, select this, press enter, select that, and then it will sweep all of that for us. Okay, so that's perfect. So the only other thing left is this. I also want to create this shape and sweep this as well. Alright, so we can also do the line and create this profile, and then we can sweep along this. So let's quickly do that. We can go to the left side, It doesn't matter, it doesn't really matter. So left side, change this to 2D wireframe. PL for polyline, let's be on the surface like this at the top. Don't worry, come all the way here and turn off. Okay, so I can actually click here where I want it to end. It will give us this, then we can fillet that as well. F for fillet, let's set our radius. Let's try 100, this and that. Yeah, perfect. So this is one object. So I think I'll just do one, then I'll mirror it on the other side. So that's just what I'll do. So I will copy this guy and use this here as well, but it will be a little bit smaller. So let's go to the top view. Let's see which one we actually did. I think it's here. I think this is it. Yeah, no, that's not it. So let's go to the side where we created it left. All right, so this is the polyline. So while we're here, let's just switch this to top. And let's select it again. So while we have this selected, we can move this to the side. Somewhere here. And now we've created this. So let's quickly create the shape that we want to have at the top. So we can just create a rectangular shape again in this view. Something like that. And so for this rectangle again, let's just leave it. Okay, so let's fillet. F for fillet, set of radius 20. Okay, so we can do 2 points to avoid all of this. 2 points, this. CR for trim. Again, you might need to select this together. So we are just going to isolate this again. Isolate, and then we can trim this. All right, and then join them. J for join on isolate. And now we have this. So if you come to this place, this is where we have this shape created. So it doesn't really matter where it is. So we can just create the sweep. All right, so this right here is the shape itself. So don't forget. So let's create our sweep. So I will select this and this. These are the things I want. So isolate it so that we can run what we want to run. Select this, click here, press enter, select this. It will sweep that for us. So on isolate. Then we have this shape. Basically, this is all there is to here, and then there's also one more thing under here that goes all the way at the bottom. So we can also do that, I guess, here if we go to the front view. So let's switch this to, okay, we can actually do that here. So if we go to the front view, we can draw a line and let the line come all the way here. Okay, so this is it. And let's check it from here. So this is the line, you can see that. So we are also going to create the profile. So we'll create the profile here. So the profile is best created in the left view. Yeah, the left view. So you see the way this goes. So that's how we're going to do that. So we already have this line, which is here. You can see I can move this. M to move, just pick from here to here. So that's okay. So I'm going to undo that. I think I will just leave it like that. Select this. It's here. So we'll just quickly. I don't want to snap, so I think that is why we are having that problem. So I don't want to snap to anything. Just turn off your snap objects, and then I can move. Just move it in. You can see the dot. So you can see the dots. Just click here. Don't snap to anything. And if you check it right here, it should be right where it should be. So it's because I was snapping, that's why we have that. So if I select this and I come here, so this is the shape. So I'm going to create the profile that I want. So instead of using rectangle, I'll use polyline. Just create it like so. I will turn off my auto mode so that I can follow the flow. Just come here. All these things, mind you, dimension should be given. Okay, we are not given dimension. That's why I'm doing all of this. So just click here, EX to extend that. Again, we can do 2 points from here to here. Again, 2 points, circle from here to here. By now you should know that we cannot extend, I cannot trim because others will be distracting. So I will isolate, and then I can use my trim command to remove this. Then select everything, J to join, then on isolate. So now we have the shape here. We can also run this command, sweep, select this. Okay, I forgot to join. So select this, J to join. Okay, so it will not join because I'm seeing that there is can you see an intersection going on here? So I'll select both. Isolate once more. I think when I was clicking, I missed something. So what I can do is select this, click on this dot and click this edge. So now let's select both. J to join. This should be one object now. Alright, so let's run this. Sweep, select this, press enter, select this. Okay, sweep, select this mesh, press enter, and then select this one. This is strange, but no issues if sweep is not wanting to work. So what we can do is we can move this. I think it's because it's line, so let's move, run the move command, pick it from the mid all the way to this point. So I'll just extrude it. That's what I'll do. Select it, go to extrude. Okay, so I think there is a problem with this mesh, so that's why it's not working. So what I will do is I will come back here, check the mesh out. If it's not joined, I get that. I knew that. So there's something wrong with that. So what we can do is draw a line from this point all the way to this point. X to explode this so that we can remove this segment. And then let's run this again. 2 points. So just click on the end. It's very important. Or first off, let's remove this. Click on 2 point circle. Should be able to snap to that end. Is end point that we want to snap to. Also end point, not perpendicular. So now if I select this, isolate, select this, this, and this. Isolate, and then trim off this. Now let's join this together. Okay, on isolate. I think sweep should work now. Select this. Why is this not joining? Something is not right here. So I guess I'll have to again select this, delete, L, so that's tangent, and then I'm also going to turn on, click here and go and pick that tangent. It's very important. So if I turn off all these guys, I want to have only tangents on. Okay, so it wants to click here, but I want it to come here. Okay, so let's enable endpoint as well. So just click this node and come to that endpoint, click. Now this is very funny. Click here, go to this endpoint, click. Oh God. Okay, so I'll delete that, and I think I would line this to this. Okay, so what's the problem? Okay, so this is, I think I missed something earlier. Let me be sure it's one object. Okay, so it's one object now. Sweep, select this, enter. Yes. But the problem, you see the problem is rotated. So I guess I'm not going to use sweep. I'll just use extrude. So you select this and run your extrude command. Yeah, so extrude solves the problem for us. So we have that. Okay. So now we have this done. So we can remove this now. We don't really need this anymore. We can delete it. And let's change this to conceptual so that we can see what we're working on. Again, I'm going to switch this to perspective. So this is what we have. But now the problem is this looks blocky compared to this. All right? Looks really blocky. So we need to, for us to be able to get all this smooth curve, we need to convert this solid object into what we call the mesh. And that mesh will give us control over the points and the edges and the faces of this object to deform. So how to do that is you come to your mesh option, click on this smooth mesh. But before we do that, if you click on this option, you can choose the tessellation you want and also the number of levels of smoothness you want. And that can be set. So let's just come here and we want to create a mesh. So we just create a mesh out of this. So now we now have two different objects here. We have a solid and a mesh. So let's delete this solid first so you can see the difference. So see what we have. But let's undo that and show you another way. So we can just select this mesh, press enter, create a mesh, and let's delete or move this solid away from there. And don't worry, this is what we have. So the reason why we have this is we don't have enough detail. So we can have more detail and then convert it to the shape that we want. So that can be done by going to the mesh and you have option to add more smoothness to it. So if I go to smoothing and convert mesh object to convert non-mesh, filter non-mesh. We can just convert that, and then we have this. Okay, so this was still selected, so that's why it gave us that error message. Actually not an error message, it's just it tried converting this as well, okay, because it was selected before I clicked here. Okay, so that's why. So if I select this, for me to now start controlling this mesh, what we can do is under my mesh there is a selection filter. Right now I'm selecting this object as a whole, and I want to be able to select it as maybe the point or the mesh or any or whatnot. So what I can do is I can come to the filter, I can select by face. If I come here, I can select this mesh by that face. You can see. I can also say select by edge. So if I say select by edge, and let me escape first. If I choose select by edge and I click here, I'll be selecting this edge. Okay, let me have option selected on. You see, I can select the edge and I can select this edge as well. Okay, so for you to know the edge you are selecting, you can actually click here, shaded with edge, so you'll be able to see the edges you want to select. It will be easier for you. So again, you can also say select by vertex, which are all these points. So you can use those vertex to move your object, or the edge to move your object, and do whatever it is you want to do. So what I want to do, one more thing I want to do is I want to smoothen this object. So I'll click on no selection filter, click it, and then I'm going to smoothen more and smoothen more, and now this is smooth. But now the thing is, I've over smoothened this. If I try to select, okay, so that's work. So what we can do is I can from here select this point and this point. Once you have them selected, I can come all the way to my move. So I can just go to move. I can move them. Let me turn off this. I can just move them to this side. So what I'm doing now is controlling this. So I think this, I need to turn off this so that I'll be able to. Let's go to selection by vertex. So it's, you need to know what it is you're selecting first. So we just have it selected. And now if we go to move, and because nothing, I'm not snapping to anything, I can move this to this side. Oh, that's strange. Why is everything moving? It's supposed to move this guy. Let me just do that again. Okay, I think I may have missed a step, which is refining the mesh. Oh, sorry. I missed that step of refining the mesh. So I'm going to, so I've done too much subdivision. So I'm going to undo this till where the mesh is still not that dense. Oh yeah, so this is fine. So I'll select this mesh and then refine. And now that I've refined this mesh, if I come to shaded, I have all of this to work with. So if I go to selection by vertex and I click here, I have all these vertices that I can pick. Okay, so then I can start working with those vertices. I can start moving those vertices around. Okay, so just click here, click, click. So let's just pick all those vertices, orbits, click here and here. So I'm going to remove this. So now that I have those vertices moved, if I go to the top view, oh sorry, I went to front. So let me pick this again, this. So I'm just clicking on those points that I need. So once I have that clicked, I can use my move. Sorry. I realized that I think let's try using face, and if we move this, select this face and that face. So let me escape that again. Sorry. Select this face and that face and come here. Let's see if this works. Also turn off this so that we don't snap to anything. So if I move along this axis, okay, so this is working now as I want. So I'll do the same thing for this face. So I'll have to press escape. So what I'm trying to do now is to mesh this, to get this mesh into position how I want this to go. So this is the shape. I can move this here. So we have to start moving the different parts into position. So you see this base, I'll select this. I want to move them to the back first before I move all of them out. So let's just say this is like so, and then I'll just move this here, something like that. Let's be sure. Okay, so that's fine. So for this as well, just press escape. So you have to now start morphing all of the parts. Here, and then this as well. And just move this here till it looks like what you're looking for. All right, so again, don't forget we need to round this off so that we can have it curved out. If you look at this outer part, so just press escape again and select these ones, this and that, and then we just move this out. So we're beginning to get that rounding at the top, in the front rather. So for this one, we also need to bring this out. So I need to select this one and this, and then move this to the side. Again, if you see what's happening, you can also change it to rotate, and it's good as well, you can rotate it. So you can, as you're rotating, you can move to give you the actual rotation that you're looking for. All right, so we'll do the same thing for this one as well. So just select this and this. So once you are done with the overall shape, you smoothen it as well. So you can see that what we are having. So I'll just move this here, rotate it. So I can go to the home. Oh, okay, so easy actually. So I can go to rotate as well, switch to move. I can move this into position till we get the shape. So the only thing left is we need to, because right now this is really flat, so we can select this face, all this base, select them and just move them down like so. So instead of that, or you could also select this front part, and I don't want to have this highlighted, so I'll just go to no filter, select this, isolate it so that I can work with this. So I'll just select all these guys. You see that they say no filter, so I'm going to go to face, select this face, press escape to deselect everything, and then select this face. So now we have these faces selected. I can use my scale to scale that place. Keep scaling it up till we get what we want. So I can also deselect and just keep scaling all the parts that I want. So maybe this one, I'll just use my move tool to move them up a bit. And then this base, select it as well. So deselect, press escape to deselect. So you see that it's lagging because now mesh always lags. That's why we don't really work with mesh. All right, you want to work with your solid first before you convert them to mesh. So that's what the mesh does. So just move this down a bit, and it will give you this overall shape. So on isolate, and this will give you that. So you can also go to edges or points to push some points out. Okay, so let me change this to world and select this point. Yeah, so it was because I was in front, that's why. So if I change it to world, I can move these points separately, then start to push and pull all those points. Press escape, select this particular point, push this up as well to get that shape. All right, so you just playing with those points. And so permit me, sorry, the reason why I was having issue with that point was because it was in front. It was in front view. So you see you have that done. So the other thing you can also do is for this one as well. So if I select this, I can also convert that to, so let's change this to no filter so that I'll be able to select this guy and then convert it to create a mesh out of it. So now we've created a mesh, and select the solid, move the solid out. I can actually delete the solid. Now I have this mesh, which I can refine before I start doing anything. So just click on refine mesh. So now that you have refined the mesh, you'll be able to now filter this mesh by selecting. If you notice, this place is kind of fatter than that part. So if I come to this place, I can select this mesh and start to work on this mesh as it is. Okay, so I can come to this place as well and start to move these points. Okay, so you have all of those stuff that you can do right there. So another thing you can also do is, if I have this, just select it first. Let's smoothen it one more time. Smoothing that, so you have a smooth mesh. Okay, so we can just select this and mirror it to the other side, and we're done. So let's see this. If we select this guy and we refine, convert it to mesh, smoothing a couple of times. So let's see what we have. Let's go to move, select this, we want the solid, and so we will have to still do a bit more work in order for us to get that shape. So so in this case, I think I'll leave that, and instead of that, what I'll just do is to round this edge. So we can come to our solid, fillet. I can set a fillet radius, so maybe let's try 10. Let's select this first, So I'll escape that. I'll run the fillet command again. Let's try 30. We'll click here. Yeah. And this is another way we can get this out of the way, so we can do this. All right, so we have that. So you can just click on this to kind of round off the shape. Feel like that. Okay, so let's see why we're not having. Let me just press enter a couple of times. We have that done. And let's run the fillet command again. I think it's because we have this line. Let's remove the polyline. And let's run the fillet again. 30. Click here. Yeah. So it's because there's a polyline there. So you can't fillet the polyline. And maybe I'll fillet this edge. And this. Press enter a couple of times, you have that right there. So you can see this looks a bit more smooth than what we had there. So for this as well, I can just add a bit more rounding to it. Okay, I'm still going to smoothen this guy. So let's just do this edge again, fillet. This time let's try 20. So we'll fillet this there. So the reason why, I guess you should know why this is not working, because there is a polyline there. So we'll have to press enter a couple of times and then remove the polyline. Delete. Let's run that fillet command again. Now this should work. Press enter and enter, so you have that back. So here, for me to just finish up this, to make it look smooth, first off, let's try to push these points up for them to look decent. At least move this up a little bit, press escape, select this point, move it up a bit. Okay, so we're having this. So let's smoothen this guy. And we can also push this point. If I feel I want all these points to be moved up, I'll just select this top point. I can just move them a little bit more up and even forward if I want. If I so want, I can move them forward. Right, and for this base we can also do the same thing. Select all these points, move them down. Okay, so we have that. Just move this down till you are fine with what you have. Let's move this a little bit down. And so once we are good, we just need to smoothen it once more. So go to no filter, select it, select the mesh, and then come to your mesh, smoothing. It's going to smoothen it to the point where it will say you can't smoothen this anymore. See that? So we just have that to be done. So if I come here and I still go back to my point, nothing will happen because it still recognizes only these points. Okay, so I can start to use this to define the thickness. So we just have to select, press escape, select this one and this one, and move them both up a little bit like so. So if imagine I want to create a design whereby maybe the middle is kind of has a very funny shape, I can do that as well. So let's see, we have this and this. I can move them down. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So if I come to these points and all these ones at this edge, so this is why I'm selecting them before I do anything, is because I want it to be symmetrical. So I'll just move them up like this, so it shows that detail. So I press escape. I forgot to click here. Click here and move them up. You see that small detail which you can add over to that part. And then we can also bring this up, these 3 points at this top here. Move them up to show that, okay, this place is big, and once you sit down, it compresses here. So this is the control you have that you can run on your object. So you could stay here all day long and be moving points here and there, and it's just up to you how much you are willing to stay and model this shape. Okay, so you have that liberty of time to yourself. So again, model responsibly. Don't waste too much time modeling that you now lose track of what it is you are doing. So I'll just stop here, and if you look at it right now, this is the chair which I've made, and I just wanted to explain to you how it would do something similar. And remember, we started from getting a dimension from here, getting a dimension and working with the rough dimension, and then trying to get this shape. So imagine I spend enough time with this, I'll be able to get the overall shape. So this is what I wanted to show in this in today's exercise. If you feel this was helpful, please give me a like and a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe, because I do tutorials like this every time. Do have a wonderful day, and God bless you. Bye.